Good morning. I'm Trish Ross, the Commissioner of Georgia Department of Veterans Service, and it is my honor to stand before you today for the second year in a row to talk about our state enacting veteran and military-friendly legislation. You know, an organization is only as good as its leadership, and Governor Kemp truly recognizes that having favorable policies for our military and veterans is good business for the state. And this is also a bipartisan issue with support from both sides of the aisle. As one of the only states that's growing in our number of veterans, these nation's heroes are entering our workforce with in-demand skills, becoming entrepreneurs and starting businesses, and becoming embedded in the fabric of our communities. They're leading, whether it's kids' sports in their faith groups or in their county and city governments. Today's legislation will further support veterans and attracting even more of these great Americans to our state. So it is my honor to introduce our leader and the man that has set the bar so very high for continued veteran and military support, the 83rd Governor of Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp.
Well, thank you all very much. I love a good military introduction. Short, to the point, let's get the program moving. Thank you, Colonel Ross, for your service, and I just appreciate so much what your team does to help our veterans who call Georgia home. Also just want to acknowledge the greatest First Lady and a great supporter of our military and our veterans, Marty Kemp, with us this morning. Both of us are indeed honored to be spending time with our veterans, military families, and those who work hard to support them. And today I'm honored to be able to sign 3 bills into law that were drafted and passed to benefit and honor those who have given so much to our country. But before I do that, I want to recognize and thank those that are here today helping us celebrate these important measures. Speaker John Burns is with us today. Great first legislative session, Speaker. We are grateful for your leadership and the House's leadership on military and veterans issues. And the Dean of the Senate, my friend, someone I served with, great state senator, Ed Harbison's with us today. Ed, thank you for your leadership. And then if the rest of the members of the General Assembly, I know there's a lot of y'all here, if you'll just wave your hands or stand up if you're seated, let us thank you for your support this year. I also want to thank the board members and those that are here that are supporting Colonel Ross and her mission at the agency. If y'all would just acknowledge everybody and wave, Sean, let us thank you guys and everybody else on the board. Appreciate you guys being here with us today. Greatest Adjutant General in the country, Tom Carden, doing a great job. That's what I'm going to start saying, General Carden. We got the greatest First Lady, greatest adjutant. You know, there may be other governors that disagree with that, but I'm the only one you got to worry about, correct? All right. But listen, our Georgia National Guard does an incredible service to this state and to this nation, and we certainly saw that during civil unrest, COVID, and a lot of other things that we've had to deal with, and we're just so honored to be supporting and standing alongside you all. The members of the American Legion are here with us today, the veterans of foreign wars, the disabled American veterans, and other veterans organizations that are here today too. We cannot thank you enough for your service and sacrifice. Thank you for being with us. And most importantly, I also want to thank the brave men and women here representing the various branches of our military, both active and retired today. If you are active or retired member of armed services, if you're able, will you please stand? And again, let us just thank and acknowledge your service. On behalf of Georgians everywhere, I want to thank you for your service to this great nation. As you all know, our state is blessed to have a large number of current and former military members. In fact, Georgia has the fifth largest military population in the country, with almost 700,000 former service members and over 101,000 military retirees currently residing here. These men and women and their families, as Colonel Ross said, put service above self, and that's why it's important that we have their back when we need it. And as Colonel Ross mentioned, I would say that they also are a big part of Georgia's economy. We realize that with our active bases that we have that we're so proud of. But even in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been talking to a company trying to get them to move their business or expand their business in the great state of Georgia, and they specifically have talked about our military population, our retirees that are still going to be in the workforce, and what an advantage that is and could be for their company. So you all are giving back in a lot of different ways, and we're grateful for that. The unfortunate truth is, however, that for far too long, many of those who have sacrificed so much for our freedoms have struggled with mental health challenges in silence. Whether due to the stigma, lack of resources, or any other number of other obstacles, these heroes have been unable to receive the help that they need and deserve. Last year, I was proud to sign into law the Mental Health Parity Act that Speaker Ralston, Majority Leader Burns at the time, Representative Oliver, and many other people in a bipartisan way, probably the best bill signing I maybe have been to since I was governor, got done. And I just know the members of the General Assembly that are here were a big part of that in the House and the Senate, and we're grateful for that. But you know, this year we continued discussions on this important issue. And I know for many of us here today, it continues to be a priority not only of my administration, but something that the First Lady cares deeply about, and many people in the legislature, including the Speaker, cares deeply about. And that's why we were so impressed by the work going on at the Cohen Military Network Clinic in Hinesville when we visited the facility last October. Right next to Fort Stewart, it operates without any cost to the service members and offers services to them and anyone in their family in need of mental health support. To expand that good work with a similar model, the first bill I will sign today, House Bill 414, sets up a grant program to provide mental health services to active duty military members, veterans, as well as their families. To make good on that promise, we have also allocated $750,000 with support of the Speaker and the members of the General Assembly in the FY23 budget for that program. I particularly want to thank Representative Shaw Blackman and his co-sponsors for presenting this great bill, and Senator Ben Watson for carrying it in the Senate. With the signing of this bill, we're delivering a message to active and retired members of the military facing these type of struggles. You matter. You matter to us. And Georgia will keep working to ensure you have support in fighting and overcoming whatever personal trials you may face. The second bill I will sign is Senate Bill 21, which makes changes to existing Georgia Veterans Service Foundation. That organization distributes funds to reliable partners in local communities across our state to help them better serve those that have served us. These changes are designed to empower the foundation even more so it can better mobilize its resources. I want to thank Senator Kay Kirkpatrick and her co-sponsors, all of whom strongly support our military communities, for introducing this legislation. I also want to thank Representative Josh Bonner, one of my former floor leaders that's now a powerful chairman in the legislature. Maybe not that powerful. But a great member of the National Guard who carried this bill in the House and is a proud veteran of the U.S. Army. Thank you, Representative. Lastly, House Bill 175, which removes burdensome requirements placed on our state's disabled veterans and creates a specialty license plate for retired National Guard and retired reservists so that we can better honor but also recognize their contributions. I want to thank Representative Lauren Daniel and her co-sponsors, as well as Nikki Merritt, who carried this legislation in the Senate, for getting this bill to my desk. I also want to thank Senator Mike Dugan, who chairs the Veterans, Military, and Homeland Security Committee. He worked closely with the Department of Veterans Services on the language of this bill, and it helped us ensure its passage through the committee. We're also thankful for his service for over the span of more than 20 years in the U.S. Army. Something that is important to note is that all three of these bills ultimately received 100% unanimous support in each chamber. We're very proud of that, and that is a testament to how much in Georgia we value and support our military and veteran population, but also their families. To those of you here today who wear or have worn a uniform for our country, know that I proudly sign these bills into law, and that Marty and our girls will continue, like others here today, to keep you and your families in our thoughts and prayers. And we would encourage all Georgians to do the same. Thank you all again for being with us, and we'll move to the table and get these bills signed. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. The governor is going to sign HB 414 first. 414, if you had a hand in that legislation or represent a veteran organization or active military organization, please join us up here on the steps. Fill the steps, please, all the way up to the flags. Thank you. HB 414. All right, next the governor will sign SB 21. SB 21, if you were involved in that legislation at all and aren't currently up here, please join us. And last but not least, HB 175. HB 175.